Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Newshour, India's voice to the world. I am Siddharth Bharadwaj. Coming up in the next hour. India AI Impact Summit 2026 begins in New Delhi. PM Modi welcomes world leaders, innovators. Says nation stands at forefront of AI transformation. Will inaugurate India AI Impact Expo 2026 in evening. French President Emmanuel Macron to visit India on February 17 will participate in India AI Impact Summit 2026 and hold bilateral summit with Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Mumbai. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu asserts Iran must dismantle nuclear capability ahead of second round of Iran-US indirect talks due in Switzerland later this week. UK plans to shut loopholes in existing internet safety laws for child protection online. Government launches consultation for social media ban for under 16s. New Delhi becomes the epicenter of global artificial intelligence dialogue as India hosts the 5-day-long India AI Impact Summit 2026 at Bharat Mandapam from Monday. The formal opening ceremony will be led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Thursday, that is 19th of February. Overall, the summit is set to bring together some of the most powerful voices in global governance, technology, policy and innovation under one roof, making it a landmark moment in the international AI calendar.
Set to host the India AI Impact Summit 2026 at Bharat Mandapam from February 16th to February 20th, placing India at the center of global AI discussions. As AI transforms key sectors, the summit positions India as a leading voice on governance and democratization. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address the event with leaders including French President Emmanuel Macron and Brazil's President Lula da Silva attending the summit.
The summit itself is proving to be a very large event. We are expecting about at least 20 heads of state and heads of government. We are expecting leaders of about 7 or 8 international organizations, including the United Nations Secretary General. We are expecting ministers from about 45 countries and in addition, representations all put together of close to 100 countries. In addition, we are expecting close to about 100 CEOs of important companies across the world and many other academicians and researchers and experts in the area of AI, including 2 Nobel laureates.
Moving beyond safety debates in earlier global meets, India's summit focuses on real-world impact, people, planet, and progress. Backed by the India AI mission, the aim is to show how AI can power inclusive growth, support farmers and businesses, and prepare youth for future jobs.
I think the key message that we want to send is that whatever happens with AI needs to be human-centric and inclusive. There needs to be democratic access to AI resources, and it needs to be done in a way that people and humans are in the center of this process. Moreover, I think we need to look at it as a huge positive impetus to the overall economy and the possibility of using AI or possibility of leveraging this technology to see growth across the world, across every part of the world, including India, including the rest of the global south.
Global tech leaders, including Microsoft President Brad Smith and Google DeepMind CEO Demis Hassabis, will participate, alongside representatives from OpenAI and Anthropic. Working groups will present proposals on AI commons and shared infrastructure. India will spotlight its push for sovereign AI, including indigenous language models and strategic sector applications. The summit seeks consensus on responsible and inclusive AI development.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate the India AI Impact Expo 2026 in New Delhi's Bharat Mandapam on Monday. The India AI Impact Expo 2026 will be held alongside the India AI Impact Summit at Bharat Mandapam. Spread across 10 arenas, covering more than 70,000 square meters, the expo will bring together global technology firms, startups, academia and research institutions, union ministries, state governments and international partners. The expo will also feature 13 country pavilions, including those from Australia, Japan, Russia and UK. The expo will host over 300 curated exhibition pavilions and live demonstrations structured across 3 thematic chakras: people, planet and progress. In addition, the expo will feature over 600 high-potential startups, many of them building globally relevant and population-scale solutions. Welcoming participants coming from all over the world to India for the India AI Impact Summit, Prime Minister Narendra Modi on social media platform X expressed pride over the summit, which shows the capability of country's youth. He said, "This occasion is further proof that our country is progressing rapidly in the field of science and technology and is making an important contribution to global development." In a series of posts on X, Prime Minister Narendra Modi wrote, and I quote, "Bringing the world together to discuss AI. Starting today, India hosts the AI Impact Summit at Bharat Mandapam in Delhi. I warmly welcome world leaders, captains of industry, innovators, policymakers, researchers and tech enthusiasts from across the world for this summit. The theme of the summit is Sarvajan Hitai, Sarvajan Sukhai, or welfare for all, happiness for all, reflecting our shared commitment to harnessing artificial intelligence for human-centric progress." AI today is transforming several sectors, including healthcare, education, agriculture, governance and enterprise. The AI Impact Summit will enrich global discourse on diverse aspects of AI, such as innovation, collaboration, responsible use and more. I am confident that the outcomes of the summit will help shape a future that is progressive, innovative and opportunity-driven. Thanks to the 1.4 billion people of India, our nation stands at the forefront of the AI transformation. From digital public infrastructure to a vibrant startup ecosystem and cutting-edge research, our strides in AI reflect both ambition and responsibility. Standing at the center of global stage, Prime Minister Narendra Modi on February 13 said that despite a decade marked by global disruptions, India has emerged stronger and poised to become the world's third largest economy. Prime Minister also stressed on disruptions related to AI.
दुनिया को अब डिसरप्शन के साथ जीने के लिए तैयार रहना होगा। समय के साथ इनके नेचर में बदलाव आएगा, लेकिन ये तय है कि अब व्यवस्थाएं बहुत तेजी से बदलेगी। एआई से जो डिसरप्शन हो रहे हैं वो तो आप देख ही रहे हैं। आने वाले समय में एआई और भी क्रांतिकारी बदलाव लेकर आने वाली है। भारत इसके लिए भी तैयार है।
India AI Impact Summit 2026 from 16th to 20th of February. The summit is anchored in 3 sutras: people, planet and progress, which define India's approach to cooperation on AI. Sutra is Sanskrit for a rule or formula. The summit will bring together global leaders, policymakers, innovators and experts from across the world to deliberate on the way forward on AI. At the invitation of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, heads of 20 countries and ministerial delegations from 45 others participating in the summit. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres and officials from other international organizations will join the deliberations. The summit is being positioned as the first major global AI gathering in the Global South. It comes at a time when global AI ecosystems are undergoing a significant shift. While large language models have shown rapid progress, policymakers and experts have increasingly highlighted the need for stronger data governance, diversified AI architectures, and sector-specific deployment. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres said India is the right place to host the first ever AI summit in the Global South. Speaking ahead of the AI Impact Summit, Guterres said artificial intelligence must serve the entire world and not just serve a handful of powerful nations.
I strongly congratulate India for organizing this summit. It's absolutely essential that AI develops itself to the benefit of everybody, everywhere. And that countries in the Global South are part of the benefits of AI. India is the right place to have this summit and to make sure that AI being discussed in depth in all its potential, enormous potential, and also in all its risks, but that AI is belongs to the whole world.
Speaking on the India AI Impact Summit 2026, UK's AI and Online Safety Minister Kanishka Narayan emphasized that both India and the UK have a strong technological foundation and are committed to expanding AI adoption.
The UK and India have a very close relationship when it comes to technology. We have a fantastic base in the free trade agreement where countries both looking at two things. One, the adoption of AI to make sure we're spreading opportunity for people both across the UK and India. And secondly, as you say, the responsible adoption of AI, looking at safety regulation, looking at how we can make sure that children and women and girls across our countries are kept safe in terms of online experiences as well. So we have a very joint set of values, joint set of focus areas, and a very joint sense of enthusiasm for where AI goes in our countries.
Ambassador of Norway to India, May-Elin Sterner, said gender inclusion is a key focus with emphasis on making AI and digital spaces safe and inclusive for women.
Norway and India have a trade economic partnership agreement with the EFTA group, and that's a very good basis for cooperation. It's a partnership agreement, so also to discuss AI solutions, digital solutions. We are also working on an MOU on health cooperation between our countries. We have just been discussing now at the panel in the United Nations Population Fund how gender also is part of it and how we can include and make the AI and digital space safe also for women and particularly young women.
Alok Agarwal, co-founder of the AI for India, emphasized that artificial intelligence will reshape the workplace, simplify some tasks while opening the door to new opportunities. He highlighted the importance of upgrading skills and learning to work alongside AI to stay competitive in the future.
AI से जॉब्स इफेक्ट तो होंगे आगे जाते हुए, क्योंकि बहुत सारे काम जो आजकल लोग खुद करते हैं वो AI टूल्स की मदद से आसान हो जाएंगे और AI टूल्स वो कर लेंगे. लेकिन बहुत सारे नए जॉब्स भी खुलने वाले हैं और आने वाले हैं जो कि AI की वजह से आएंगे. AI जो है वो यहाँ पे रहने वाला है और आगे बढ़ने वाला है, इसलिए सबको जरूरत है कि वो AI के साथ मिलकर कैसे काम को कर सकते हैं और अपनी क्षमता बढ़ा सकते हैं, उसके ऊपर फोकस करना चाहिए और उसी को लेकर अपने को रीस्किल करके आगे बढ़ना चाहिए.
The India AI Impact Summit 2026 is bringing together policymakers, industry leaders, startup founders and academicians for a wide-ranging conversation on artificial intelligence. South Asia Lead Sustainable Impact HP Inc. Hitesh Sharma spoke about how AI is reshaping India's job market.
Comes to the nature of workforce in India, it provides an opportunity to bring in larger set of use cases. And that's where we see a huge potential to be able to not just deliver, but actually learn from bottom up and bring it back into our offerings. So I think it's more of a cross-pollination and learning and delivering. So.
Sanjay Sethi, national expert, UN Food and Agriculture Organization, shared his thoughts on how AI can benefit the agriculture industry.
By using AI, we can actually make sure that we only apply those kind of nutrients which are actually needed by the soil, by the plant, and by using AI, we can also use that what kind of skills are needed for what kind of farms and what kind of machinery and what kind of resources are needed for which kind of farm, because we have been experiencing that our land is degrading, we are using overuse of water.
As India positions itself as a key global voice in the evolving artificial intelligence landscape, the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting has set up a dedicated pavilion at the India AI Impact Summit. The platform is set up to highlight India's growing technological capabilities, startup depth and policy-led vision for responsible AI adoption. The pavilion is designed as a media and dialogue space where policymakers, startups, creators and industry leaders converge to discuss how artificial intelligence can be aligned with India's developmental priorities and national security considerations. Officials familiar with the initiative said the pavilion aims to project India's AI ecosystem not merely as a consumer of global technology, but as a creator of indigenous, scalable and socially relevant AI solutions. All right, and joining us on the broadcast today is Mr. Sakar Yadav, founder and managing director of LexLegis. Sir, a very warm welcome to DD India Newshour. I'll begin by starting, by asking a very simple question to you. What is artificial intelligence according to you? What is it?
Artificial intelligence, according to a layman language, is better use of data, is better use of understanding what the data is and explaining it to the person who is using the data. So artificial intelligence doesn't have future knowledge. It is based on past information. And based on multiple of past informations, it's able to cross-connect the intelligence of multiple domains to give you any output.
Okay. But the way artificial intelligence is evolving, the way technology is evolving, do you think it can make future predictions as well?
I think future predictions based on past data, of course it can be.
Okay.
Why not? I mean, in case we are in a legal tech space, so whether you would win a case or not win a case, of course it can predict the future based on historical judgments or historical case laws. In those ways, yes, of course it can predict the future, but in not any other way. Especially in India, you have to be very careful. Prediction is usually meant with astrology or predictions. It's not based on that. It completely, based on historical data, based on past data, and it's learning, it can definitely, based on that, the inference can give you some output on what could happen.
Okay, all right. Yeah, India has always advocated when it comes to the use of AI and when it comes to the constructive use of artificial intelligence. Now, I want to draw your attention towards this summit, which starts today. This is a summit which is coming for the first time in the Global South. How impactful is this summit from India's point of view? And also for a fact that world leaders are coming here, it goes on to show India's stature on the global world. What's your analysis? What's your take?
I think that's a very important question. I think this is the most important step that our beloved Prime Minister Modi has taken. I think the government understands the importance of AI in the coming time frame. And also, it's very important to draw the attention, not of the world only, to show how we have moved ahead, but also of the Indian companies, Indian startups, Indian corporates, as to that the government is with us and the world is. And when I'm here, I'm just seeing that we're no different than what the world is doing. All our startups are almost there. We are racing ahead. Now, why is it important for India? Please try to understand that there is going to be a lot of economical spend on AI inferences, GPU powers, etc. We in India, the two main focus is that, number one, we want to retain all that expenditure in India. Number two, we want to provide AI applications, AI power to the world from India. We have our friends Sarvam here who are already working on, on their own GPT, which they want to power the entire country. So such initiatives are extremely good, extremely nice, because it will stop the flow of capital out from India outside, and we can give this to the other developing nations too.
All right. We have seen, we were showing to our viewers just a while back, there were some industry leaders who were saying that artificial intelligence is very challenging, in the sense that it may take up some jobs in the future, because the people who are doing manually the work which people are doing right now, AI will be able to do it in the future. So there is a threat of job cuts, but at the same time it will generate a lots of opportunities as well. What is your reaction to it?
Yeah, I don't know if you remember, there was a company called Kodak, which was into movie taking. And do you remember where those development centers, you used to carry those rolls for development into. Where are those development centers? We don't know. If I ask you which year did they vanish, it did not. So there was a threat that time that those jobs will go. But it created so many new jobs. People who are absolutely on their toes, on the cutting edge of technologies, will keep on creating jobs. And I don't think so. There is a fear that there should be a fear that there will be no jobs in the future. Yes, there should be a fear, and that is what is going to keep everybody on their toes. Is there going to be job cuts on the old ways of working? But there are going to be immensely new ways of job creation that is going to come. And that is what summit like these help in understand what is the world moving to and what we should be working and where we could create jobs for people.
Okay. So we also understand the fact, sir, that when it comes to artificial intelligence, policy framework and guidelines are very, very important. But there is a catch when it comes to the policy making and when it comes to the guidelines related to artificial intelligence, that every country makes them, but they make them according to their own comfort. Could there be a common ground, or should there be a common ground?
I think law is very geography specific. It is not universal in nature, and it is very difficult to get everybody on one page. And now when you're speaking about policy frameworks, etc., very often, even in the exhibition that's already started today morning, we've got extremely intelligent, talented people coming. And one of the questions that came to me this morning was, who should be ultimately responsible for an AI output or anything like that? And ultimately, if there is a human in the loop, the person who's signing that should be responsible. Now, whether the AI should be responsible or not, if there is a human in the loop, that person can decide if the AI is responsible to shut the AI off, right? Use some other AI. That is number one. Number two, on the policy framework part, is that certain things where outputs could be given. For example, if you are copying somebody's photograph and making a picture or a movie and uploading it somewhere, so those are policy guidelines. So only up to the guidelines level, I think policy framework should be there in the country like India and even other countries. But and I think other countries can ape each other or copy the good frameworks or the policies, but it's difficult to make guidelines as a universal guideline, number one. It can be an understanding. It's very difficult to get the world together as a policy framework.
Okay, so there cannot be a common policy framework, common guidelines when it comes to AI.
Very difficult. It's very difficult on anything. I mean, leave alone AI.
Okay, but should it be? But should it be? My question is this, but should it be?
I don't think so. There is a need of a policy. There are rules and there are rules where you should do and do not do, and it should be left to every country to make their own set of rules. There should not be any common policies.
So how will the trust among the stakeholders will be built if that is the case? How will the stakeholders trust?
See, I'll tell you again, punishment and law is geography specific, right? I cannot enforce an Indian law in some other country.
Okay.
So the rules, if it is made, it has to be ultimately that geography or that country's rule. Number one. How is the trust on this? I think in law, I can tell you, we are giving trust to our users by giving you, number one, guarantee for no hallucinations. Number two, giving you an explainable AI as to why we are giving you this output. And number three, we are giving you citation-backed inferences or any output. But how will the trust develop? I think it is a matter of time. The best companies will win, and somebody who's not trustworthy will automatically have to shut shop. I don't think there is going to be a great policy framework that is going to define to generate trust. Trust is a very intangible thing, and I don't think so. Policy is going to generate trust, but I think usage and references are going to create trust.
Okay, that brings us to the challenges that AI posed. What do you think? I mean, what's your analysis when it comes to tackling risks like deep fakes and misinformation, which is actually going on and hampering people's personalities as well? It is also hampering big brands also. It is actually hampering reputation of the people and putting reputations at stake of big names, be it personality or be it brands. How can we tackle that?
Yeah, a very good question. I think my answer is more personal, and I can tell you that there has to be fear of law, and wherever they are caught, number one, they should be punished in a way that it sets an example for others not to do. Personal reputation is something, when I was a child, my father told me that if money is lost, something is lost. If health is lost, a lot is lost. If reputation is lost, everything is lost.
Right.
So reputation is something should be very, very strictly taken. And anybody playing with this should be given a very strict punishment that should set an example. And that's number one. Number two is how do you basically promote these viral or this fake content? I think these platforms which are promoting this, at that point there should be a check. So if I'm not naming any platform, supposing there's a social platform where you're uploading, at that point there should be a check, number one. And number two, there should be a very strict law, and the fear of law should be very, very deeply instilled, that there should be examples that are said that somebody has actually been caught and punished. So once people hear about that, I think they'll automatically deter people to do that.
Definitely. Very quickly before we let you go, sir, everyone across the world is hailing India for organizing such a big summit. In fact, the world leaders are also hailing Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visionary leadership, for this vision of organizing this summit on such a big scale. We also organized G20, if you remember, at the same venue where this summit is being organized. So when world leaders gather under one roof, when innovators, they gather under one roof, what kind of output do you expect by the end of the summit in your analysis?
So I was at Davos last month. It was another gathering of people there, and I'm here. There was more on the economic discussions. Here is more on the technology discussion. I think both the things have one thing in common. People are wanting to know who has achieved what and who is going to deliver what. I think a lot of policy decisions, a lot of forward-looking decisions is what is happening. And when there are world leaders and world technology people coming here, I think exchange of ideas is what is going to define the future, and that is what is happening here.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for giving out your valuable time to DD India. Thank you so much. It was wonderful talking to you. We leave it there, sir. Thank you. And we are heading for a short break. You stay tuned to DD India.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the economic brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
You're watching DD India Newshour. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj, and a quick recap of the headlines. India AI Impact Summit 2026 begins in New Delhi. PM Modi welcomes world leaders, innovators, says nation stands at forefront of AI transformation, will inaugurate India AI Impact Expo 2026 in evening. French President Emmanuel Macron to visit India on February 17 will participate in India AI Impact Summit 2026 and hold bilateral summit with Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Mumbai. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu asserts Iran must dismantle nuclear capability ahead of second round of Iran-US indirect talks due in Switzerland later this week. UK plans to shut loopholes in existing internet safety laws for child protection online. Government launches consultation for social media ban for under 16s. French President Emmanuel Macron is among the 20 world leaders attending the India AI Impact Summit 2026 in the national capital. During his 3-day visit, the visiting dignitary will engage in bilateral talks with Prime Minister Narendra Modi and jointly inaugurate the India-France Year of Innovation 2026. We get you details in next report by our correspondent Akhilesh Suman.
On 17th February, India and France will enter a new phase of cooperation in innovation. In Mumbai, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and French President Emmanuel Macron will jointly announce the launch of the India-France Year of Innovation 2026. During Prime Minister Modi's visit to France last year, both countries announced the Horizon 2047 roadmap. The India-France Year of Innovation 2026 will be part of that vision. Throughout the year, programs will be organized to promote innovation in defense, space, civil, nuclear energy, climate, digital technology, and emerging sectors. The initiative is expected to generate awareness and inspiration, especially among youth. The India-France Innovation Forum will be held in Mumbai on 17th February. Apart from Prime Minister Modi and President Macron, the forum will bring together business leaders, startup representatives, researchers and policymakers from both countries. To take the India-France Year of Innovation 2026 to the public, a special cultural program will also be organized at the historic Gateway of India in Mumbai on the 17th. The Year of Innovation particularly will focus on startup collaboration, joint research, higher education partnerships, artificial intelligence, green technologies, and next-generation digital technologies. At a time when the global order faces multiple challenges, this collaboration between India and France will signal positive and constructive engagement on the world stage. Akhilesh Suman's report for DD India from New Delhi.
On the defence front, India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh will co-chair the 6th India-France Annual Defence Dialogue with Minister of the Armed Forces and Veterans Affairs of France, Catherine Vautrin, in Bengaluru on Tuesday. The meeting will review the entire gamut of bilateral defence cooperation with focus on expanding industrial collaboration. During the meeting, a defence cooperation agreement is expected to be renewed for another 10 years, with an MOU on joint venture for manufacturing of hammer missiles likely to be signed in the presence of both defence ministers. An announcement is also expected with respect to reciprocal deployment of officers at the Indian Army and French Land Forces establishments. The two ministers are also expected to witness the virtual inauguration of the H-125 light utility helicopter final assembly of Tata Airbus by Prime Minister Narendra Modi and French President Emmanuel Macron in Karnataka. India's Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman is in Norway. She will call on Prime Minister Jonas Gahr Støre during her 2-day visit in Oslo. Sitharaman will hold bilateral meetings with her Norwegian counterpart and Minister for Trade and Industry. She will also visit the Oslo Science Park, where she will engage with startups. A roundtable with Norwegian CEO and investors is on the agenda. She will also engage with the diaspora at a community event. The Delhi police marked a significant milestone on Monday as it celebrated its 79th Raising Day. India's Home Minister Amit Shah graced the occasion as the chief guest, overseeing a ceremonial parade that was a vivid display of discipline and coordination. During the parade, the event showcased the prowess of the Delhi police with participation from the best marching contingent, SWAT team, dog squad, band team, motorcycle riders and PCR units. Each formation demonstrated precision and teamwork. Addressing the event, Minister said that in the last 11 years, under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the country has achieved many milestones.
आने वाले दिनों में जब देश में न्याय की बात होगी, तब 3 नए आपराधिक कानून, हमारी नई न्याय संहिताएं, जिसका केंद्र न्याय नहीं दंड है, उसका जिक्र इतिहास जरूर करेगा। आने वाले 2 साल के बाद इस कानूनों का पूर्ण इम्प्लीमेंटेशन होने के बाद मैं देश की जनता को विश्वास दिलाना चाहता हूं कि देश भर में किसी भी कोने में जो एफआईआर होगी वो अपराधी को दंड देने का मतलब जो पीड़ित है उसको न्याय देने का काम सुप्रीम कोर्ट तक 3 साल में हम समाप्त करने की व्यवस्था कर देंगे।
A tragic incident unfolded in Rajasthan's Bhiwadi on Monday as a ferocious fire broke out at a chemical factory, claiming the lives of 8 workers. The incident took place in the town's Khushkhera Karoli industrial area. Officials said emergency teams rushed to the site shortly after the blaze was reported, while the cause of the fire is currently under investigation. As per report, around 25 workers were present inside the factory when the fire broke out. Expressing grief over the fire incident, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said in a social media post, "The fire mishap in Bhiwadi, Rajasthan is tragic and deeply saddening." He extended condolences to those who have lost their loved ones and prayed for the speedy recovery of those injured in the incident. On to international news now. US President Donald Trump sets a deadline for Iran as the US carrier Gerald Ford moves into position, warning of a very bad day if talks fail. Meanwhile, the first leaders meeting of the new Board of Peace is set for Tuesday in Washington. Israel is now officially on the board, while other countries are still weighing whether to participate. Here's more in this report.
Negotiations between the US and Iran are at a critical juncture, with Tuesday talks in Geneva occurring alongside a significant US military buildup in the West Asia. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that any deal between the United States and Iran must involve the removal of all enriched uranium from Iran as well as Tehran's ability to enrich more. Netanyahu said he's skeptical of a deal, but it must include enriched material leaving Iran.
I will not hide from you that I express my skepticism of any deal with Iran because, frankly, Iran is reliable on one thing. They lie and they cheat. But I said that if a deal is to be reached, it should have several components that we believe are important not only for the security of Israel, but for the security of the world. There shall be no enrichment capability, not stopping the enrichment process, but dismantle the equipment and the infrastructure that allows you to enrich in the first place.
Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi arrived in Geneva on Sunday as Washington and Tehran prepared for a second round of nuclear talks this week, with Iranian officials signaling openness to an agreement. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said that a U.S. delegation, including envoys Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, would meet Iranian officials. While talks leading to the 2015 nuclear pact were multilateral, the current negotiations are confined to Iran and the United States, with Oman acting as the mediator. Meanwhile, the U.S. military is preparing for the possibility of sustained weeks-long operations against Iran. Trump has ordered a second aircraft carrier to the West Asia to increase pressure on Tehran. The first aircraft carrier, the USS Abraham Lincoln, and several guided missile destroyers arrived in the West Asia from Caribbean in January. Anamika Pandey's report for DD India.
US President Donald Trump said Board of Peace member states will announce a pledge of more than $5 billion for reconstruction and humanitarian efforts in Gaza at an upcoming meeting on Thursday. In a post on Truth Social on Sunday, Trump wrote that member states have also committed thousands of personnel toward a UN-authorized stabilization force and local police in the Palestinian enclave. The US President said the first official meeting of the group will take place at the Donald Trump Institute of Peace. Delegations from more than 20 countries, including heads of state, are expected to attend. The board's creation was endorsed by a United Nations Security Council resolution as part of the Trump administration's plan to end the conflict between Israel and Hamas in Gaza. Israel and Hamas agreed to the plan last year, with a ceasefire officially taking effect in October, although both sides have accused each other repeatedly of violating the ceasefire. The trilateral talks between Russia, Ukraine and the United States on ending the conflict will be held in Geneva this week. Kremlin aide Vladimir Medinsky will head the Russian delegation. The talks would take place on Tuesday and Wednesday. They follow 2 rounds of negotiations in Abu Dhabi, at which Russia's team was led by Igor Kostyukov and its head of military intelligence. The return of Medinsky, who led the Russian team at earlier talks in Turkey in 2022 and again last year, could signal that Russia expects the focus to move beyond security issues to broader points of disagreement between the warring sides. Nearly 4 years into the conflict, Russia and Ukraine remain far apart on key issues, including territory and control of the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. Meanwhile, Russia's defense ministry claims, in fact, that its troops have taken the village of Tverskove in Ukraine's southeastern Zaporizhzhia region. Now, Russia controls about 75% of the Zaporizhzhia region. Governments around the world are tightening the rules on children's access to social media. Latest is United Kingdom. Its government is pledging to close loopholes in existing laws designed to protect children online. Australia and France have already passed the bills, while Spain, Greece and Slovenia have since said they plan bans. However, tech giants are pushing back. The debate over teen social media use is only getting bigger. We have a report.
Global push to limit social media access to teenagers is gaining traction. From Europe to Asia, countries are eyeing stricter rules for users under 16. The move is driven by concerns over digital addiction, cyberbullying, the impact on mental health and other online harms. UK government is seeking to broader powers to regulate internet access. Prime Minister Starmer said no online platform will get a free pass on children's safety on the internet in new plans, adding that the move was initiated to protect children from fast-changing digital risk. The new powers are likely to lead to reduced parliamentary scrutiny of future curbs. Australia has already banned social media for under 16s with heavy fines for violations. France, Spain, Greece, Denmark and Norway are considering similar limits, while the European Parliament has called for EU-wide minimum age norms. In Asia, Malaysia is debating whether to enforce a social media ban for under 16s under its Online Safety Act. In India too, the issue has gained traction. The latest economic survey warned that digital addiction among both children and adults affects cognitive and social development. World's first landmark trial against Google's YouTube and Meta, the parent company of Instagram, is underway in California. The trial claims that the two social media companies intentionally addict and harm kids. The companies have denied the charges. They argue that banning teens from social media would only drive them to unregulated apps or dark web and warn of overreach. New research suggests that an overwhelming number of students check social media while studying, leading to procrastination and lower academic performance. As incidents of online harm rise, countries seem to be coming around to the view that the risk can no longer be ignored. Bureau Report, DD India.
Naveed Akram, accused in Bondi Beach mass shooting, appeared in an Australian court via video link for the first time on Monday. Akram faces 59 charges over the December 14 attack, including 15 counts of murder, 40 counts of wounding with intent to murder, and a terror offence. Police allege he carried out the mass shooting with his father Sajid, who was shot dead at the scene. The timeline of evidence was also discussed during the hearing. Akram will next appear in court on 9th of March. Let's take a look at other stories making news across the world. Larry, the chief Mauser at 10 Downing Street, is celebrating 15 years in the role. Living at the British Prime Minister's official residence since 2011, he has patrolled the halls in search of mice while serving alongside several Prime Ministers, becoming one of the most beloved figures at number 10. Spectacular lanterns and light displays illuminated cities across China as the Spring Festival welcomed the Year of the Horse. Beijing, Changzhou and Xinjiao offered large lantern displays, traditional performances and colorful decorations, drawing crowds of locals and visitors. The Lunar New Year is being celebrated by millions worldwide, with Darwin's Vietnamese community marking the occasion through traditional loto, handmade food and cultural festivities. As the Year of the Horse begins, families are embracing hopes for good fortune, health and unity in the year ahead. And we are heading for a short break. You stay tuned to DD India.
Can the US launch a bombing campaign against Iran? The Philippines vessel suffered structural damage. The saga of child sexual abuse. Is the United States China's debt trap strategy? Truth is stranger than fiction. But sometimes hard to uncover. Trust us to tell the truth, unadulterated and pure, of every story that matters to you. You read between the lines, cut the clutter and connect the dots to get you the full picture. Watch Connecting the Dots at these times with me, only on DD India.
You're watching DD India Newshour. Now, time for some sports news. And India outclassed Pakistan by 61 runs in a high-voltage T20 World Cup clash at Colombo. The rivalry once again lived up to its billing in terms of intensity, but on the field it turned into a one-sided affair as the defending champions produced a complete performance to storm into the Super 8 stage of the T20 World Cup. A fearless Ishan Kishan took the game away from Pakistan.
India hammered Pakistan to seal a dominant 61-run victory and book their place in the T20 World Cup Super 8 stage at the R. Premadasa Stadium on Sunday. On a tricky surface, Ishan Kishan merged power with finesse to play one of the finest knocks in an India-Pakistan World Cup clash, smashing a sensational 77. Pakistan's spin-heavy strategy brought early success as captain Salman Agha removed Abhishek Sharma in the first over, but Kishan soon turned the innings around, dismantling Pakistan's spinners. Even after a brief stutter in the middle overs, India's lower middle order ensured the momentum was maintained and the total was pushed well above par. In reply, Pakistan needed a strong power play to chase down 176, but the pursuit collapsed almost instantly. Hardik Pandya struck in the first over and Bumrah followed it up with a fiery spell that removed Sam Ayub and captain Salman Agha, reducing Pakistan to 13 for 3. The situation worsened when Akshar Patel rattled Babar Azam's stumps and Pakistan never recovered from that damage. Despite Usman Khan attempting a lone fight, Indian bowlers kept tightening the grip through the middle overs and Pakistan were eventually bowled out for 114 in 18 overs, making the marquee clash a one-sided contest. Jasprit Bumrah and Hardik Pandya led India's pace attack with 2 wickets each. Akshar Patel and Varun Chakrabarti played key roles in the middle overs, applying pressure and picking up important breakthroughs, leading to Pakistan's collapse. The game also witnessed multiple records as Ishan Kishan shattered the record for fastest 50 by an Indian in an India-Pakistan World Cup match. India's 175 for 7 became the highest team total in the history of India-Pakistan T20 World Cup matches. The win further strengthened India's dominance over Pakistan at the Men's T20 World Cup, extending their head-to-head to 8-1. It was also India's 6th consecutive T20I victory over their arch-rivals and their 16th straight win in ICC limited over tournaments. With this emphatic win, the defending champions have not only confirmed their Super 8 berth, but also sent a strong message to the rest of the teams in the tournament. Sports Desk, DD India.
Indian cricket team fans celebrated the victory against Pakistan in the ICC T20 World Cup 2026 clash with great enthusiasm. Fans from across the country danced and shouted slogans with joy after the historic win against the arch-rivals. Fans from various parts of the country, including Delhi, Chandigarh and Tamil Nadu, filled the streets, waving tricolours, honking horns, dancing to drum beats and lighting fireworks. A look at today's crucial T20 World Cup matches as the race to Super 8 stage heats up. Co-hosts Sri Lanka will take on a depleted Australia at the Pallekele International Cricket Stadium. The Aussies step into the game knowing that a defeat might draw curtains on their World Cup campaign in the preliminary stage. Injuries to Josh Hazlewood and Pat Cummins had already handicapped the 2021 champion heading into the tournament. A shock 23-run loss to Zimbabwe in their second Group B encounter have further compounded the side's issues. Meanwhile, Lankan Lions earned a win over Ireland in their first encounter before blowing away Oman. A win for Sri Lanka will seal their place in the Super 8 stage. Two-time champion England will look to seal Super 8's berth when they take on T20 World Cup debutant and fierce football rivals Italy in their final group match. England come into the game with momentum after a pressure win over Scotland. Despite being known for its aggressive baseball style, England have looked cautious so far, as was also admitted by captain Harry Brook after the defeat to West Indies. Italy, on the other hand, bring high confidence after a commanding 10-wicket win over Nepal, their maiden victory of the tournament. Italy will be pumped up for this contest, as an upset win could open up the Group C table, with Scotland also in contention. Former French soccer star David unveiled the FIFA World Cup 2026 trophy in Bogota as the iconic trophy continued its 150-day world tour. The FIFA World Cup trophy landed in Colombia as part of a tour that will see the trophy visit 30 FIFA member associations. The 2026 tour started in January in Saudi Arabia, which will host the World Cup in 2034 before it travels to all 3 host countries for this year's tournament, the United States, Canada and Mexico. The trophy tour will also include the host nations for the 2030 tournament, Morocco, Portugal and Spain. The 2026 FIFA World Cup kicks off on June 11 with the final set for July 19. USA Stars clinched this year's NBA All-Star Game in Los Angeles, California, while Anthony Edwards was named Most Valuable Player or MVP. The exhibition game featured a mix of league players who were voted for by fans and then split into 3 teams. USA Strips was made up of older NBA superstars like LeBron James. USA Stars featured younger players such as Edwards, and then Team World was made up of international players. The 2 USA teams battled it out in the final championship game, where the USA Stars scored 47 and the Stripes 21. That's all for this edition of DD India Newshour, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms, and you can scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I am Siddharth Bharadwaj from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Newshour.